Hello, hello, hello. This is the Vanilla JavaScript podcast. I'm Chris Ferdinandi. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I'm talking about JavaScript and file size. Earlier this week, I was exchanging emails with someone around using frameworks to handle rendering. And I mentioned that for certain types of apps, I like them, but prefer to use smaller libraries like Reef, my own 2.5 kilobyte alternative to Vue. Over the extra bloat that a 30 kilobyte JavaScript framework might bring. And they responded by saying, quote, I don't get the bloat argument. 30 kilobytes isn't that much. And to be fair, it's not. 30 kilobytes is a relatively small amount of space on your computer's overall storage space. A 30 kilobyte JPEG is downright tiny. It's a trivial amount of data to send on a fast internet connection. That said, a good amount of web traffic today is now mobile, and a good amount of mobile web access is on mid-range smartphones, not those high-end devices that you may or may not have in your pocket, with okay-ish, flaky, bad internet connections. JavaScript is a very different beast than a JPEG or even CSS. It blocks rendering, and it blocks other files from downloading. It needs to be parsed and interpreted after it's downloaded, and it triggers a bunch of repaints that negatively affect performance. Byte for byte, JavaScript is the single most expensive resource that we send down the wire. And that's not me saying that. That's a quote from Adi Osmani. Over at Google, he's a performance engineer. This is his bread and butter. And he wrote a really great article last year on the real cost of JavaScript that I'm going to link to in the show notes, and I definitely recommend you check out. It really gets into the nitty-gritty on why JavaScript impacts performance in such a severe way compared to some of the other parts of the stack. So 30 kilobytes isn't a lot in the absolute sense, but in terms of a performance budget, 30 KB of JS is orders of magnitude more impactful than the same amount of any other file type. And obviously, I teach people JavaScript. I'm a big fan of JavaScript, so I'm not saying don't use JavaScript. I'm saying that we should be a little bit more reflective or cautious around when we use it. We should lean on other parts of the stack when we can and use JavaScript as a last resort when other ways of approaching the same problem don't work or are impractical. So that's it for today. If you want to finally master JavaScript, head over to vanillajsguides.com and check out my pocket guides and video courses. They're short, focused, and made for beginners, and you'll learn the ins and outs of a topic in under an hour. See you next time. Cheers.